en el futuro. Ooh, okay, we're talking about the future, right? How do you say future in Spanish? El futuro. En means in, so you know what this means. You know already what this means. In the future. And this is even a more vague phrase. The previous one, en unos días, it's vague. And this one is even more. But you're talking about the future regardless, right? So that's a common thing to say in Spanish as well. Let's look at an example. Compraré una casa grande en el futuro. Compraré una casa grande en el futuro. And this phrase is really good when you want to talk about your plans in the future. What do you want to do, right? In this situation, compraré una casa grande en el futuro. You're talking about a property. A casa. Casa, you know what this means, casa. Tu casa es mi casa. No, rather it's the other way around. Mi casa es tu casa. That's a common saying. In America and in Mexico too. And it means, sorry, I just need a sip of this. Okay. This means I will buy a big house in the future. Compraré una casa grande en el futuro. Once again, you can use this phrase en el futuro at the beginning of the sentence or at the end. Very flexible. You can say en el futuro compraré una casa grande or compraré una casa grande en el futuro. Compraré is again future tense. Usually when you talk about the future, you need future tense as well. So yo compraré means I will buy. Comprar means to buy. You don't need yo at the beginning. Yo compraré, you don't need yo. Remember, I always say this, you don't need personal pronouns in Spanish all the time. You need a verb, for sure. Una casa means a house. Grande is an adjective. It helps you describe things, of course, and it doesn't change. There's no feminine, there's no masculine. Grande is grande if you talk about a house or a car or anything. Grande will stay grande. Unless you have a plural noun, then you need a plural adjective. Grandes, okay? So grande or grandes. In this situation, we don't need plural. We need just singular because we're talking about a house. A big house. Grande means big. Grande. Big. En el futuro, you know what that means? In the future. Compraré una casa grande en el futuro. I will buy a big house in the future. Excellent. The next, I always do that. The next example is que no se vuelva a repetir en el futuro. Que no se vuelva a repetir en el futuro. This sounds like something a boss would say. You know, someone who has the authority to say this to you because something happened. I don't know, maybe you were working on something and you made a mistake or something happened. You made a mistake and someone can say to you, que no se vuelva a repetir en el futuro. This means don't let it happen again in the future. Okay, so it's a common thing to say in Spanish. You can also just, you don't need en el futuro, but you can say it in the future. Just don't let this happen again. Que no se vuelva a repetir is a very, very, very common Spanish phrase. This one right here, it's quite long, but it's worth remembering this because this means don't let it happen again, period. That's it. Don't let it happen again. Que no se vuelva a repetir. Repetir, this verb right here is a verb that means to repeat, okay? And it's very commonly used in Spanish. Repetir. Repite conmigo. Repeat after me, okay? But we're also talking about an action. And if you made a mistake and someone doesn't want you to do it again, this phrase is commonly said, okay, for that situation or in that situation. Que no se vuelva a repetir. Don't let it happen again. Volver a repetir is like doing it over or repeating the same thing, okay? Volver a repetir. So you include this verb, volver, or in this situation, vuelva, because it's conjugated. Vuelva a repetir, to repeat again. But essentially, the whole phrase, que no se vuelva a repetir, means, or it's very similar to, don't let it happen again, okay? En el futuro, in the future, okay? Because if you do it again, who knows? Something might happen, like you can get fired, or if you're dating someone and you made a big mistake and you do it again, what happens? You break up and so on. So yeah, it's a common phrase to say. Que no se vuelva a repetir, and also en el futuro. So just remember that.